Okay, question 2 here in my practice test for materials is this one. Silver is a precious metal mostly used in jewellery. Its melting point is 981 degrees Celsius, which is relatively high, and it also has the highest electrical conductivity of all metals. Due to its high conductivity, it is often alloyed with metals such as tin when used as solder in electrical appliances. First question here is draw a labelled diagram of silver metal. Now, this idea of silver metal is redundant basically. This question is asking you to find a labelled diagram of a metal, which you guys should know involves cations and delocalized electrons. So our go-to diagram would be a 3x3 box with metal cations, which is these guys are, in this case, silver cations. All right, and then around them would be our negative charges, which would be delocalized electrons. And therefore we have a labeled diagram of silver metal. Again, don't worry about the particular the specifics of it. Silver is redundant. You just need to say a labeled diagram of a metal, which you guys know. Explain why silver is often used to make jewelry. Provide reference to the diagram in your response. Okay, so what do we need things to do to make jewelry? Jewelry is bent into different shapes. Also, jewellery is shiny. So we've got two things we can talk about in terms of our structure of metals. So first of all, metals are shiny. Alrighty, and that is because delocalized electrons will reflect light. Again, what you're doing is you're looking at what properties are useful in jewelry. Metals are shiny. Why? With the reference to the diagram, delocalized electrons reflect light. What else do we say? They are malleable. Malleable. I think there's a double L in there. Anyway, metals are malleable. So therefore, they can be bent into different shapes to make jewelry. Why are they malleable? Because cations can be moved, but still held in place by electrons. So therefore we have our two reasons why we can make jewelry with them. Suggest two reasons why pure silver is not used as electrical solder. Okay, so electrical solder obviously is used to, is a low melting point metal where you quickly just melt it and it connects things. All right, it says it's often alloyed. Why wouldn't you use silver there? Well, first of all, it's got a relatively high melting point. So silver has a high 981 degrees Celsius melting point. That's one reason. The other reason is it's a precious metal, so it's expensive. And you can say silver is expensive. So therefore, you probably don't want to use too much of super duper expensive metals in your solder, if you can simply just alloy it to make it conductive but not so expensive, and also conductive but also have a lower melting point. So that's kind of the answer to question 2, where you're looking at applying your knowledge of the metallic structure and metallic properties and some idea of the properties to a particular scenario.